Hey everyone, it's Victor here, and today is Transgender Day of Visibility. Now, I'm sure it's pretty obvious what that means, but if you don't know what Transgender Day of Visibility is, or if you haven't heard of it before, it's basically the day where we celebrate transgender people around the world, raising awareness, talking about the discrimination and the things that trans people go through every day. Basically, just the day where we learn about trans people and we celebrate trans people. Because for so long, the only other day that trans people had of any kind of import was Transgender Day of Remembrance, which is a day where we remember trans people that have lost their lives. Having a day of remembrance is important, but having a day where we actually celebrate trans individuals and we raise awareness and talk about what we go through, that's really important. Because that's how we move forward, that's how we educate people, that's how we make trans people who haven't come out yet feel like there's a community of people who are willing to welcome them with open arms. So today I wanted to make a video about my experience and why I choose to be visible, why I choose to be openly trans. Because I know a lot of other trans people, and I know they all have different stories, I know they all have different backgrounds and different approaches to their transition and different levels of openness about being trans. So I want to talk to you about why I'm so open and why I'm so visible as a trans person and why I'm documenting my transition online. Now, it is very interesting because it coincides with the beginning of my YouTube channel. When I first started making YouTube videos, when I started cosplaying, when I started making a public image for myself, back in 2015, 2016, just the start of 2016 really, I had decided within myself that I was never going to make a video with me speaking. And this was a decision that was made because I didn't want people to think I was trans, to know that I wasn't anything other than a cis man. Even though back then I identified as non-binary, which was a stage of my personal discovery, of discovering I was actually transgender male, I was always uncomfortable with my voice, and I felt that my voice was a big tell of me being trans, of me obviously not being cis. And it was probably the most common thing that happened to me is, even if I felt like I could maybe pass a bit more masculine with my facial features and the way I dressed and the way I looked, as soon as I opened my mouth, I felt like that was, you know, like a stab to the heart, because then people would misgender me and call me female, and that was the hardest thing for me. So at the beginning of making YouTube videos, I decided I wasn't going to speak. I was never going to expose my voice. But down the line, I realized that it was restricting me greatly, that if I couldn't speak in my videos, I felt like I was hiding, I felt uncomfortable, I felt really unhappy. And hiding is very uncomfortable. It's really hard. It's really hard to hide and pretend. So yes, I eventually made videos with me speaking, as you can tell, and people did comment. People said, "Why do you look like a boy but sound like a girl?" That was the most common comment I would get. And those comments really hurt. They were like a stab to the gut. I just wanted people to see me as who I am, but people weren't. And that's the hardest thing about being visible pre-transition. But then I realized that when I was hiding, when I was pretending that I was just a cis boy, that there was nothing going on at all, I wasn't trans, hiding just made me feel more and more ashamed of being trans. If I'm hiding, if I'm pretending I'm not trans, if I'm ashamed, and if that's the message I'm putting across to people that watch my videos, if that's the message I'm projecting to the world, how's that going to make other trans people feel? That's going to make them want to hide. That's going to make them feel like there's something not right with them, if it's something to be ashamed of. And that's when I woke up and I realized I want to be someone that inspires someone else to come out, to be visible. I want to reach out to trans people and make them realize that it is something to be proud of. That being trans is beautiful and wonderful and just as valid as being cis. And so that's why I decided to be publicly visible and publicly open about being trans. And it's not easy. It's still a battle with myself. It's still a battle with my own fear of how people will react to me, how people will treat me differently because I'm openly trans. There's still so much hate out there for people like me. But if I respond to those people's hate by hiding, then nothing is going to happen. No change is going to happen. And I've been so inspired by trans people who have been open and talking about their transitions and making me feel better to be the person I am, that's what I want to do for other people. Trans people deserve love, deserve respect, deserve to be celebrated for the things that they do, the life that we have, what we go through. Trans people have to go through so much every day. We're literally soldiers. And to have like the hate piled onto that, it can just sometimes just really get on top of you. And yeah, like, no wonder a lot of people aren't visible right now. It's a hard thing to do. You really have to develop a thick skin. Oh my god, the sun is causing so many issues for my shots today. I am so sorry. This video is taking an age to film. If the light is changing, then I apologize. I can't really do much about it. My trans flag is actually acting as a diffuser currently, so let's see if that helps. If you feel like there's no other choice right now than to hide, then that's okay. I completely understand that. But you have to know this, that being trans is nothing to be ashamed about, and it is amazing. You are amazing. You are so brave. Not everyone has the choice to be visible, but luckily I do have the choice. And I've decided to face my fears and be very open about being trans and talk to people about it and hopefully educate people and help people understand a little bit more about what it's like. It's actually such a shame because today, the 31st of March 2018, is the first ever trans pride in Scotland. And unfortunately, I can't make it because this is a pre-recorded video and I will currently be in Birmingham today. So, unfortunately I can't make it, which is very upsetting because I would have loved to be there to help mark that occasion because it's such a cool thing that we're finally getting a trans pride in Scotland. It's such a big step. And I know a lot of my friends are going, I know that Dan is going, and if you live in Scotland and you want to head along to Trans Pride, you definitely should, because you should really just mark that occasion, the first ever Trans Pride in Scotland. So yes, I choose to be visible because I want to help others. I want to show them that being trans is amazing and we deserve love and respect just as much as anyone else. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I'm sorry it's a complete shambles. Someone's hammering outside, as well as the sun being an absolute pain in the arse, and my house is very noisy today. So I'm very sorry, but I hope this was helpful. I hope it was interesting hearing about my experience with kind of accepting myself and being visible. And I hope that if you're a trans person watching this, I hope that one day you will feel happy and proud to be trans, if you aren't already. But anyway, I'm literally about to burst into flames. This sun is driving me insane. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you very soon. Oh my god, this sun is so annoying. I'm so sorry that the light has been everywhere in this video. It's been driving me completely insane. I wouldn't usually complain about the sun, but it does make filming difficult.